Hi, and good evening, everyone, and welcome back to CIVVIE Debrief. My name is Jose Pila, and I am your host for tonight, and actually every night, so I don't know why I just said that. But I want to introduce again my co-host, Alexander Jaquez.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us for week 2. I'm going to introduce our guest this week, Mr. Mark Dewey.
Hello, everyone.
A very special guest, probably one of my favorite people to interview ever. And I don't say that to everybody, just to Mark, because he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, we've had him on before on our...
Meal with the Vet, twice.
Yeah, twice.
He's got a cool story.
It's a phenomenal story, I think. But first what we want to do is try to give you all some resources that you can use, some veteran resources that you could either use or share with your family members, loved ones, or any veteran that you might know. And we'll start off with you.
All right, so I have 2 veteran nonprofits that I want to talk about before we start. The first being the Foundation for Women Warriors. It's based out of California. Started actually almost 100 years ago in 1920. Which I thought was really interesting. I realized there was so many organizations that were still around after that long, especially nonprofits. But they focus on the economic well-being of women, and they really focus on creating a better future for women veterans so that they can have success and build stories of success. And
I think I have heard of them. It's actually a really cool organization to provide like financial services for them.
Financial literacy, all of the everything that is encompassed by economic well-being. Nice. And the second one is called Our Military Kids, and they were launched in 2005. They focus on providing sports and arts programs for kids whose parents are deployed or dealing with combat injuries. So they can enrich the kids while their parents are either gone or they're... I lost my train of thought. Military kids, so that through sports and arts while the parents are deployed or dealing with injuries, so they find ways to keep their kids entertained and enriched, and because that can't be easy dealing with your parents while they're injured or deployed. I can't imagine.
No, I know that. Was your son before you deployed?
He wasn't really old enough. It was only from the ages when I was deployed. It was up till he was about 5.
Oh, okay.
So no. Oh, well. But we can all imagine you have a parent around. Just you're used to that environment, and then all of a sudden they're gone on a deployment. You need to fill that gap with something.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
That's a cool one. I like that one too. And then you had 2 to mention as well, correct?
Yes, I did. One of them is Tech for Troops, and actually ties in a lot with we have a connection with a nonprofit organization called TenHUD, which is our subsidiary. TenHUD is connected or started an educational program with an organization that provides
coding
for vets and anyone that wants to get familiarized with coding. But the reason why I bring it up, Tech for Troops provides refurbished laptops and any computer literacy that the veteran might need for the job market and things like that. But the other reason why I bring it up is there is actually an educational program that provides educational assistance, financial assistance for veterans. It's called Vet Tech.
Okay.
Yeah, Vet Tech provides, so in lieu of utilizing the GI Bill, if a veteran's interested in any technological classes like coding or classes
any tech classes?
Yeah, any tech classes
or something.
Yeah.
Now, for the civilians out there, though, the GI Bill, that's the educational benefit for veterans, correct?
Actually, it shifted because it used to be the GI Bill.
Now it's a post 9/11, correct?
Yeah, post 9/11, which is all educational programs for service members after they get out of the military to go into education. And Vet Tech happens to be another program that they implemented. And you do have to have some GI Bill left.
Okay.
And the good thing about it on the veteran side is that it only pays 25% to the school initially, and then 25% in the middle of the quarter or middle of the program, and then the rest of the 50% is paid upon finding a job. So the school has to.
So they have an incentive to help you find a
job so that they can get the rest of the money.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so it does help out the veteran, one, for them finding a job, getting the proper education, and it's all for free.
So you know how in the housing market some realtors are averse to the VA loan because of all not the mystery around it, but they don't really know how to use it. Does the same kind of thing happen with vet tech? Like the schools are like, well, I can't guarantee they're going to get a job, so I don't want to accept that because then I'm not getting my money.
So there is if you go on the website, on the VA website, and just search vet tech, there's some vet tech approved schools.
Okay.
So that you can go through the list and just
gotcha.
Just look around the Southern California and see what's available.
That's really cool.
So for those of you that are interested, you can definitely do that. The other nonprofit that's doing a lot of change is, I believe they're called Warriors Reunion Foundation. And what they do is they reunite you with your old unit, and the goal for them is so that either individuals on that particular unit that they've transitioned well or have had a rough transition, anyways, you create that camaraderie again,
right,
and help each other transition out of whatever it is that you're going through. So,
is it still hard in this day and age to find your old unit members with Facebook and Instagram and cell phones? And I mean, is it still difficult?
I would think so.
I would say, just from my perspective, I don't have Facebook, I don't have Instagram, and I know that's a trend with a lot of veterans who don't want all their information out there, or just wary of how much do you want to put online.
So well, going back, and actually, we would like to hear your story about like transitioning and things like that. But first, tell us a little bit about you. Just
briefly, joined the Marine Corps when I was about 20 in 1999. Did 8 years, did 2 years in the infantry, and then 6 years with a reconnaissance unit. Deployed once before the Iraq War started, just to a bunch of Asian countries. That's probably not politically correct. Hong Kong, Japan, China, Singapore, Korea. Did that. That was nice before war, and then went to Iraq 3 times. So throughout the 4 deployments, I've definitely missed a lot of holidays, since this is a holiday special.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. I've missed them all at one point or another, one deployment or another.
Do you remember what your first holiday was that you missed? Sorry to interrupt you.
Wow, really, I don't.
No,
they're all the same.
After a while, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was any. I don't know where you're going to lead with that, but I don't think there's any different emotion, whether it's Christmas or Thanksgiving or someone's birthday.
I think I was going to lead was like, does it get easier?
Yeah, well,
I think it's, and I don't mean to interrupt. I know that, and you tell me if I'm wrong, because I've been deployed while holidays are happening. It kind of just happens to be another day. They all kind of merge in together, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. They all feel the same. Nothing is particularly different, especially if you're like in a combat unit. Infantry, motorman, engineer, medic, or field medic. All of those type of MOSs, you're either out on a mission or, it doesn't feel like
or planning for the next one.
Yeah.
It's like we're not really looking at the calendar as far as this is coming up.
Yeah,
we're
that
looking
makes
at
sense.
what's the next mission coming up in the next day, next 2 days.
That makes sense.
Just deploying in general gets easier.
Yeah.
You get used to it. But at the same time, it depends on what's going on in your personal life. So without all my details, I've been through a divorce. I have a son through a previous marriage. So different things like that. Sometimes it's just hard to be away when you're splitting up with someone, or just family dynamics are changing, or a relative is sick. So the holiday itself isn't that bad. It's just all the personal things that might be going on at the time.
Right.
It's just another day, but you wish you were home for other reasons.
That makes sense.
Yeah, see, like you mentioned, the camaraderie does make it better, but it's just another day that's better. It isn't because it's a holiday.
Yeah.
Although there's some things, like I remember in Afghanistan, we had a turkey. We had to kill 2 or 3 turkeys.
Oh, you actually killed the turkey?
Oh yeah, and we grilled some turkeys. That was pretty fun. On one of the deployments, but.
Although it's another day, we do try to make it a little special.
Right.
So
by killing turkeys.
You can barter. Like I was in Iraq for my 3 deployments, and you can barter with village people and buy, They love our money, and
Yeah.
we always overpay or try to hook them up with extra cash.
Yeah.
So they get goats, get whatever. So even though it's just another day, you try to make a little time for at least a special meal, something
Oh, okay.
a little different.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, you can barter for MREs. They love MREs.
They over there like
yeah,
MREs.
They like MREs. They're always yelling out MREs.
Good shelf life.
Yeah.
Well, that is true, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're spoiled here in the States because I tried my first MRE and wasn't a fan, but I
Yeah.
grew up here and, McDonald's is right around the corner, so I can get whatever I want whenever I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we were fans our first time either.
You end up.
I expected them to be better because I kept hearing how military food got better from like my dad's time when it was
I think
dehydrated.
your bar
I
standard
was like,
just
oh, these
gets
are going to be
lower.
good. Like, no, this isn't that good. And I got to eat this for 8 years. Ugh.
I don't remember your answer, but what was your favorite MRE? Do you
It
remember?
was the chili mac.
That's
Yeah.
the one I tried.
Oh, wow. That was the best one.
Yeah, the jalapeno cheese for
yeah,
this.
but you have to have that spread,
Yep.
that jalapeno
Yeah.
spread. Without that, I don't think it was that good.
Oh, did you mix it with the jalapeno?
Yeah,
Oh
you
no,
have to
I had
put
it
it
with the
in.
crackers.
No,
I made
you-
the chili mac better by putting the crushed red flakes and salt. That's how it was
You
better.
warm up the cheese while you're warming up your meal, and then it comes out of the packet a lot easier, and then pour it onto it.
I think I still have an extra. I'm gonna try that next
There's
time.
only one way to eat an MRE. You get the main meal. You put everything in it, whether it's cheese, peanut butter, crackers, mix it all up, hot sauce, salt, and it all tastes
I
the
didn't
same.
get hot sauce in my packet. I was so upset.
Yeah, actually, he's right. You crush up the crackers, put the cheese on there. I don't know about the peanut butter, bro. That's
No, this has been debated, kind of off subject here, but really, peanut butter and hot sauce. Everyone says it sounds disgusting, but look at Thai food.
I was gonna say
it
Thai
has
food.
all four
Yeah,
flavors. You want the sweet, the savory, the spicy, all that together.
Thai chicken
So-
salad is really
Yeah,
good.
but
So you became a MRE chef out there and made some Thai food out there.
every MRE was the same. Put it all together and eat it.
Yeah. Any MREs that you're eating on a holiday, I think that would be,
No, I don't know. What's the question?
No, any MREs that you
Oh, do I know any MRE that I ate on a
on
holiday?
a holiday.
I can't remember.
I don't think
that.
they evoked
Yeah.
that much
It was,
emotion. Do you
It was
remember?
just another day. I remember.
Do you remember your
I remember
turkeys?
eating a goat.
Yeah, I remember the turkeys.
What was-
I remember
what
the
was
goat.
goat
we got.
like?
Like chicken.
Yeah,
Everybody says, yeah.
Actually,
No,
we
it's just,
didn't. We
just
didn't
like
get to eat
lamb
the goat.
or
Oh, okay.
cow.
We
or
did not
anything
get to
else.
eat the goat. The goat, because I was the one that started skinning it,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my other buddies in the unit, we started skinning, and there was worms inside the skin.
Oh yeah, I
So-
wouldn't eat that goat either.
Yeah, so we just left it there hanging.
Oh my god. So
Sorry. Hey, out there, yeah.
Wait, something happened. Can someone deal with this? Someone
Somebody
left
take care of that,
this
please.
hanging
Left
over
it.
here.
those darn Americans just leaving dead goats everywhere.
So what were we talking about again? That was my brief story.
Yeah.
Well,
What I did. I mean, 3 deployments, all that. So was there another question? Or
yeah, the transitioning. So,
transition.
Yeah.
All right.
what is it? What was it like coming back on the holiday seasons, or were they different from, I guess, emotionally and mentally?
Yeah, well, it seemed like we were always either training or deployed. So even if I was home while I was in the military, would normally be with my boys for holidays. So transitioning out of the military, having to deal with, I say having to deal, so you can already know how it went.
Yeah.
That's how I looked at holidays once I was out of the military. It's something I had to deal with or something that was stressful, whether that was because family members wouldn't understand what I went through or what memories would pop into my head of remembering
Yeah.
the last holiday where I was at. Or, for myself and a lot of vets I know, they don't want to burden their family with all their stories or things that they're going through. So whether you try to open up with your family and they don't get it, you feel isolated, or if you purposely isolate part of yourself from your family, just feel alone. So for many years, over a decade of me being out of the military, holidays would start weeks in advance stressing about them,
Yeah.
which would lead to self-medicating. And I was already self-medicating regularly, but it would get amped up even more into a big binge, which would normally lead to me missing holiday events with my family just because I was still recovering or
Right.
probably passed out by the time I was supposed to get somewhere.
Yeah, and I know that it's still tough for people during the holidays. For normal civilians, the holidays get tough. So yeah, for veterans, it just gets different.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that it's worse because everyone has their own demons to battle, and sometimes those demons tend to amp up, like you mentioned, during the holidays. But vets get to
It's different, like you said.
It's different. But I guess I wanted to add that we feel, and again, this is only from I've known him for almost over 10 years. We feel alone a lot of the times, and that struggle feels alone. And I don't know how it feels for civilians, but I know that struggle, especially having to deal with PTSD, some mental health issues and things like that, it gets tough.
Yeah.
So like you were saying, just for like everybody, not just vets, can feel alone on the holidays. When we were talking off air, when we were in the military, we had all those holidays with someone. No matter where we were at, we had our whatever you call
Your
it, unit
unit
members or comrades, buddies, whatever. So either you were going through a miserable time, but you were together, or you're celebrating, you're together. So when you get out, when you do feel that alone, at least for me, I would miss that, or it'd get to the point I wish I was at war. Or it would have been better to be at war still than wherever I was at the time.
Right.
Well, and a lot of the times, because we chase that numbness, that combat numbness, and sometimes we try to find it in substances, alcohol, drugs, things like that. But it's that numbness that we seek. It's because, like you mentioned, in combat, a lot of the times we're just like drones. You're just, it's all muscle memory, and you don't have to deal with what's going on up here. It's just reaction, you know. So a lot of the times we seek those reactions and or that numbness, and we seek it somewhere else.
How long have you each respectively been out now and transitioned back into civilian life? How long has it been?
12 years for me.
And for you?
10 years.
Are holidays easier now, a decade and a quarter later?
No.
Are they different? I mean, is it just different?
Yeah, well, I would say, my story might not be the norm, but I know there's a lot of problems with the alcohol and drug dependency with veterans, so I was one of those statistics. So it never really got easier, and just kind of sit in my own self-pity, or no one gets me, and everything's been an alcoholic blur for about a decade. Mm-hmm. But this year, I was lucky enough to get sober.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know you guys don't promote any agendas here, but what worked for me was Christianity. I started going to church, accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And on the day that I did that, I prayed that, Lord, please just help me with this addiction. Heal me of it. Right. If it's a demon in me, take it out. And the next day I woke up not craving alcohol and some of the other harder drugs I was using. So, it's been a little over 6-7 months that I've been sober.
That's amazing.
Which obviously helps my thinking process and
you
not letting my thoughts go down all the negative paths, but looking at all the good things that I have. And this Sunday, actually, a couple days ago, was the first holiday I had with my family and extended cousins and aunts and uncles that I've pretty much isolated myself from for 15, 20 years. So it went really well. My mom's happy, family's happy.
How did you feel, though? Do you feel happy?
It used to always be a nervous thing. Even if I would go around family, I would always, just be on edge, or I don't know what my problem was, thinking they're judging me or looking at me weird. And now I'm just completely comfortable. But it also helped I got married in August. As soon as I got sober and knew I was going to be the best man that I could be, and that my fiance, I actually deserved her, or she deserved what she was getting out of me, we made it official. So we got married in August. Yeah. So
I was the best man.
Everything this year has made my life easier.
Yeah.
I have support through my fiance, who's now my wife. Sobriety helps. I know I'm doing what I need to do. I just enrolled back in school. Yeah. So for the regular vet, just because it's another year or longer time, I don't think it gets any easier.
Right.
I think having support in your life, like this guy's been around, seen me at my worst, and tried to motivate me to, quit drinking or cut down or just stop wallowing and isolating.
Yeah. For those of you listening, I would really, really encourage you to log on or download the podcast Meal with a Vet and look for Mark's episodes. Both episodes. The first one that we did,
I think it was season 2, episode 1 or 2.
Yeah. Well, you'll find them. I
Yeah,
think they're
they're by
under
name.
they're by name. Look for Mark Dewey's episode, the first one, and then listen to the second one. And you can listen to, although you won't be able to see them on camera. You can actually listen to the first one. You can actually hear some of that pain that he had or has, but it actually came through on the mic. And the second season, or the second episode that we recorded with him, he made that drastic change. You started working for
Had you started working for the park?
I don't. No,
not
I
quite
hadn't
yet.
started there yet.
Oh,
but
okay.
No.
I had started sobriety.
Yeah, you had started sobriety, but
Yeah.
you can definitely listen to the transitioning.
You can
and then
hear
now
it.
you see him,
Yeah.
and
And we see you. You're here.
Healthy glow.
yeah, you definitely.
You do. No, you definitely do. You definitely do.
Yeah, and I like I've told you guys, I've known this guy for over 10 years now, and I've seen that transitioning, and I am very proud, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am too. I've only known you now for about 6 months, 7 months maybe. The first time we met
Yeah.
was. I feel very lucky to have been able to see that, and I know that it just kind of by happenstance. You didn't choose to let me into your life for that aspect, but it's been amazing to be this kind of outside person and see that through you, for you, and inspirational to say the least, the absolute least.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So-
and although in the podcast we don't, where it's a secular, we don't promote one religion over the other or any political views over someone else's. This is, completely neutral ground.
Yeah, but we will always promote sobriety.
Yeah.
No, but if anybody, hopefully, anybody that's listening and has gone through the same path that you have, or is looking for a path, and they find it through what you did, I hope that they don't find somebody that discourages them from doing it because they happen not to believe in whatever it is that they believe.
Yeah. And I'm studying psychology for my major, hoping to help other veterans in some way, shape, or form after I get my degree and hopefully master's in social work. So although I want to promote Christianity, there's also, you could look at it from a psychological standpoint. People need community. All humans need support or want to feel loved. And so sometimes churches are a place to find that. For others, it might be a sports group or something that gets them engaged with the community.
Right.
Regularly, and not because a lot of veterans just isolate, and with the drugs and alcohol, you just sit in your room for days and vegetate. So just psychologically, people need to be active, and I think that's a good step for people having trouble with the holidays. Just stay active. Don't just sit and wallow. Stay productive. See what the organizations are offering, assistive programs, or maybe go donate your time to help someone else out.
Yeah.
Just do something.
That's really good advice.
Because the head is the worst place. That's where all the thoughts start.
Yeah.
And that's what gets people down, all the negativity. So
Yeah.
And talking about staying active, you started getting active, right? That's another thing that's helped you out.
Yeah, it was a lot easier after I got sober.
I bet.
Things, I still got aches and pains. I'm an old man, but yeah, I don't know. Sobriety, wasn't waking up hungover every day and having to medicate again to get over that.
Okay.
And then that got me just, focused more on positive things, actively looking for a job, not just saying I can't find work. And I don't know, with sobriety, I started thinking I can do whatever I want. I'm the only one holding myself back and limiting my abilities. So instead of thinking I'm stuck here in LA and I don't like LA, so where do I want to be? I want to be in the mountains or the Sequoias or something. So I applied for a job and got a job the same day. So the only thing that was holding me back from being where I wanted to be was me.
Yeah.
And just negative
where are you
thoughts
working
in my
now?
head. Yeah, it's seasonal job, summer work, just as a camp host, checking people into campsites. But it never felt like work. I worked for 2 months this last summer at the end of the season. Never felt like I was working a day that I was up there because I was out in the big redwood trees and right by a lake.
The Sequoia, right?
Yeah, Sequoias,
Wow.
right by Kings Canyon. And I'm already locked in for next year. I have the position until I say I don't want it.
That's incredible.
So I'm going to finish up my 4-year degree by April 27th of 2020, and then May 1st, right after, I'm going back up to work. So
No time for a graduation ceremony.
Nope.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't want to
We're
do that
doing
anymore.
no.
We're doing it. We're doing something. I'll bring
I'm
the cap.
filling you up with tacos.
You guys can come up to the lake.
Yes, we'll celebrate up there. We'll just follow you up to Sequoias.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make you some grilled tacos up there.
Grilled
Okay.
tacos,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll have another meal with the vet with you.
Okay. One more meal.
So, because this is a holiday show, and the day before Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, what are you grateful for this
Well,
past year?
yeah, well, I think I can't stop talking about my Christianity.
No,
Dude,
and it's
Thankful
okay.
thankful that I found a God that's so forgiving and so loving. I was stuck with my alcoholism with so much guilt and shame of just knowing I was destroying my body. Not like, no matter what you feel about a higher power or not,
Mm-hmm.
if people do believe there's something higher, then why would you want to just keep destroying your body? But it was the only thing that would get me numb enough to not think about how bad I was destroying myself. It's just a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And so for me, just actually reading the Bible and not, trying to understand what is this all about, and realizing that no matter what I've done, it's forgivable and that I can change right now. Like, all it takes is for me saying, I believe in you, and I don't want to do all these bad things I'm doing to myself anymore, and he'll forgive me. That's not saying you can go premeditate things and you'll be forgiven.
Right.
Yeah.
But coming from, just for me, I call it sin, destroying my body that God gave me. And then, so I'm thankful that I found a God that'll forgive me, and actually I found peace with myself for everything that happened in combat, all the bad things in my life, divorces, things that I feel guilty about. Things are all just better for me now because I don't need to carry that burden alone. I have a God that can support me with that, and I have a church that I can go to with my problems. That's why I also think church is very helpful. I'm not alone anymore. I have a whole community around me that shares the same belief I do. So it doesn't have to be Christianity for everyone, even though I promote it.
Yeah,
But just as long as I'm just thankful I have people that love me and support me to be the best I could be.
And I know that a lot of the times we might not share the same thoughts and ideas, but I have watched you build your foundation and that structure and those pillar of support throughout the decades that I've known you.
Yeah.
And you've made it your strongest pillar. Although you have your wife, you have your church community, but yeah, dude, I'm every time I talk to you, I'm always in awe of everything positive that's going on.
It's
Thank
very
you.
admirable that you've done that, been able to build that. It's incredible.
I would high five you right now, but I think it would look pretty stupid on camera.
I'll high five you. I'm going to flip the question to you, though. What are you thankful for this day before Thanksgiving?
I am actually... Oh, that's a good one. I'm just kidding.
That's how I felt when he asked me.
I know.
Like,
No, I'm thankful for my family has been a very, very strong support system for me. This past year, I've cultured and developed a new support system for myself and my fiance now, Amy, who's become one of my strongest pillars in that foundation. Also, the business that we're developing with this podcast, with Ten Hut, which helps other veterans find their transitional path. And I'm still trying to figure out where my community belongs, or my pillar in the community is. But I'm very grateful for the path I've chosen to become an entrepreneur, give up a lot of things, a lot of
luxuries.
I gave up a lot of luxuries to start this business, which I am very, very grateful for. So, but
That's
how about
awesome.
you?
yeah, what about you?
I think this year I'm most grateful for Meal with the Vet and CIVVIE Debrief. Coming from the civilian side and, my story with my dad, this has probably been the most cathartic activity that I've been able to do since he passed 6 years ago now. So this is one of my biggest things that I'm grateful for sure.
Nice. Glad we could be a part of that.
Yeah, definitely. You actually remind me a lot of my dad. You and him would get along so well. But yeah, he was a cool guy. But this is definitely it. So.
Yeah, and for those of you watching, We would love to hear what you're grateful for this season, the veterans especially. What is it that you are, very, very grateful for? Please put it down in the comments below.
Yes.
And we'll try to respond and see what's going on.
Yes.
But anything that you want to say in closing? I'll close it out, but
if you're ever feeling down, try to think of something you're thankful for on any given day.
Yeah.
It just all starts with a positive thought, leads to more positive thoughts instead of just focusing on negative. So hopefully everyone watching can think of something they're thankful for right now. Yeah,
and to continue on with the resources that we're going to be trying to put out, there are some resources that we would like to share, or some places that we'll be providing Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
I know that the VA West LA campus is going to be providing meals. I believe it's from 5 to 8, but you can check on the website, the West LA website on the VA. So that's a good one, and I think you had another one.
Yeah, there's another one in West LA as well. There's more resources out there. If you're not in West LA, then obviously you can Google, you'll find a bunch. But the West LA Civic Center has their annual West Side Thanksgiving dinner. Welcomes everybody, veterans, low income, just people from the community. You can donate your time if you want. The website as well has all the information. It was westsidethanksgiving.org, but they have something tomorrow as well. I think it's an all-day thing, at least for volunteers. Yeah. So they'll have a dinner. They have a carnival for kids. Bring your kids, bring your families, bring everybody, and find a community, find somebody.
Yep.
Yeah, and the goal for the podcast is hopefully next year we'll have enough sponsors, or if you would like to sponsor a Thanksgiving dinner for next year, we're definitely open to that. Yeah. We want to be able to sponsor a Thanksgiving dinner, a Christmas dinner, a New Year's dinner, anything that you think is possible. We would love to have it on here.
Yes.
And share it with everybody. So. And
hopping off of that, actually, All Access Broadcasting is having a Christmas Toys for Tots on December 11th. So we are starting with some events and partnering with people. They'll be partnering with the Marines to host this event, I believe. So yep. December 11th, you can find all the information where you're watching us right now on their Facebook page. So. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they'll be popping up the link either down below or
in the comments on the website. We'll find it. You'll get it.
Yeah, and the other resource is that because of the weather change, the winter shelters around LA County have opened up early. So hopefully you'll see them on your screen. And these are the winter shelters that are opening up early, and then the rest of them will be opening up at a regular time. So if you see a veteran, or if you see somebody out in the streets and you want to help them and give them the information to the closest winter shelter, please give them that information. It is going to be a horrible cold winter.
Yes.
So please share that information so that no one that we can prevent from sleeping outside sleeps outside. And with that,
happy Thanksgiving.
Well, I didn't want to put you on the spot, but I am.
Well, go ahead.
Since we're not paying for advertising, can I give out the name of my church? If anyone wants to meet me at church.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to become a mentor.
Yeah, no, we're in Baldwin Park, California. So anyone that's listening that's near the San Gabriel Valley or Azusa, West Covina area, Praise Chapel, Baldwin Park. We have services on Wednesday night at 7:30 and Sunday at 10 a.m.
Do you have an address?
So just Google it. I said Google it. Praise Chapel, Baldwin Park.
Oh, Praise Chapel.
And I don't have the address memorized. I apologize.
Way to put him back on the spot.
You want to meet people, just come just as you are, and not there to judge, just there to help and support. And so I'd love to see someone, or love to hear that someone heard about us through this. So it'd be great.
That would be awesome.
Do they have a website? We might be able to get it from you later, and we could put it in the comments.
We'll Google it. We'll put it back in the comments. We'll make sure that it gets out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Thanks for doing that. I like that part.
Yeah, I didn't know.
No,
I worked on here if they had to pay for marketing.
No, absolutely. If you have any questions, I'm in contact with Mark all the time. If you have any questions for Mark or for us, please write them down in the comments down below, and we'll we'll try to answer them as best as we can.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to be closing and wishing everyone a beautiful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully it's filled with lots of food and you're surrounded by loved ones that, that provide you with that support system. And if you happen to not have that, please reach out. There's a lot of nonprofit organizations that provide that Thanksgiving dinner. And like Mark mentioned, try to develop that community support system so that it gets you to the next step of your life or whatever it is path that you want to be taking. But we can't do it alone. And that community, like Mark mentioned, helps out a lot. So again, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see everyone next Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday.
Thank you.
I won't be here next week.